Hey everyone, this is Gary Kayye, and I'm excited to be talking to you today about an event coming up in just a couple of weeks. Of course, every other year, Exertis Almo brings the E4 experience to Southern California, and it's coming to Anaheim in October. And I have Kevin Welling, Kevin, and Dan Smith both here actually. But I want to start with you, Kevin. You must be excited to have us finally coming back to Southern California.
I think the entire West Coast team is. It's a unique experience to bring in this many people in. This many resellers have what I think we're going to have over 30, 35 vendors there. Sometimes we get up to 50. I haven't seen the final list yet,
It's
but
going to be more than 50. Yeah.
just the amount of people that actually come in, have the time to meet the reps, plus the vendor reps, plus our BDMs. It's a unique experience, and it's something that I think the entire team is looking forward to, and the resellers. We're getting a lot of good responses from them as we're inviting them individually.
Yeah, and it's a unique event. As you know, there's both education and an exhibit tied to it, and that includes a bunch of stuff in and around it. I mean, you come in the morning, you get free breakfast. Dan, you're feeding them. Then they come in and they go to the keynote, which is the first hour, where they kind of get to know a little bit about Exertis Almo and what's new with Exertis Almo, and also get a sneak peek. My session is going to be a little sneak peek on sort of, I think, some key products and technologies they need to pay attention. But then the show floor opens and a whole bunch of stuff happens. But all along, you got a bunch of education tied to it, Dan, which includes a bunch of CTS credits.
Yeah, that's right. What's interesting is we were just taking a look like 10 minutes before we did this recording that we have had we're well over 1,000 people at the last 3 E4s, but we're right at, I think, 1,000 renewal units in the
That's
past
great.
3 E4s. So we were over 240 in the last one. So education is a huge part of this event. And it's growing so fast. We actually have quite a few different classes that we're offering in addition to what you're doing, Gary.
Yep. Yeah, we popped some of those up right now. There's a class on Microsoft Teams rooms, which is phenomenal. There's a class on audio technology, the new audio technology that's out there. There's my keynote, which my keynote specifically is around 9 new products and 4 new technologies, but I put a 5th one in there because some new stuff has come along since last time I presented, Dan. So you're going to see something new. And what's interesting, Kevin, is I don't know that there's another event in Southern California, unless you went to an Infocom and drove 4 or 5 hours away, where you can earn 12 CTS RUs in one day.
No, I think you're right, because I think the first question we get from the resellers when we invite them, whether it's via email, if you can't get them on the phone, whether it's the voicemail we leave them, the first thing they usually ask is not the date. They go, is the CTS credits going to be available? Are the training classes going to be there? So that kind of tells you that it's a in-demand high. It's right there in their backyard. It makes it so much easier for them to do it than, like you said, drive 4 or 5 hours somewhere to see that many, have the ability to have that many credits at one time. So it's a positive thing for the resellers.
And I should mention, you can scan that QR code to register at any time that you're watching this. The event is actually it's the whole day on October 8th. We want you to come for the full day, but of course you could come for part of it. But Dan, I know that one of the things that I think excites you the most over the years has been the fact that this is outside of Infocom. If you don't go to an Infocom, this is the only time you really get a chance to see and touch the new products that were launched at Infocom.
Yeah, well, I'm a technology geek, and I think that's what you're talking about, Gary. I love the technologies. I love the applications. And even if you go to Infocom, you don't have enough time to see everything. And then Infocom is already a long ways away, right? There are so many new products, so many new technologies coming out. And I'll surprise Kevin with this fact, too. At Boston, we had over 60 manufacturers, and we had a bunch of requests. I think we may break 60 manufacturers again for Anaheim. Yeah, we are running out of room. More and more people are jumping on the bandwagon, so we're getting a lot more training out there, a lot more technologies, and it's a chance to actually, if you went to Infocom, you're still going to see new things. If you didn't go to Infocom, you're definitely going to see a lot of new things.
Yeah, and we actually popped up on the screen right now the list of all those companies. You could see all those brands. It's all the major brands that I think that everyone is familiar with. Some of the products that you can see is a plethora of DV LED products that you don't usually see them all in one room like that. Some new 21:9 options that are out there, which are important for Microsoft Teams rooms and front row. You can also see 8K, which is cool, including some 8K production systems as well, and obviously networking stuff. And there's 5 companies that I know off the top of my head that are going to have AV over IP products. 3 major digital signage providers are going to be there. I'm not sure why you wouldn't come to this if you're in California. Even I would argue, even if you missed the E4 we did in Phoenix a while back, it's been about a year. This will be another opportunity for you to go there. Kevin, I noticed we're doing it in Anaheim. I know Anaheim is even more accessible than what we've had before. It's also easier to get around and park and stuff. What do you think about the location this time around?
The location is great because just for the fact that we've used this hotel in the past, we know we're going to the room set up. We know how much we can build into this. I think the one thing, side note, is you mentioned breakfast earlier. What's funny is what would get a lot of people, a lot of resellers, yeah, Dan likes to feed us. A lot of resellers come in the morning and they'll actually go through the show themselves. And then they leave. Some of them actually leave, go get their end user and bring the end user back for lunch. And then, they have a few hours after lunch to actually show them the product. So they kind of do the show themselves first to see everything. So it's a unique thing. I think that's the one thing I like to push that is so unique about it is we want bring the end users, bring your customers, allow them to talk to the vendors that are there. Use that time wisely. And I think that's where, as we jokingly say, the food here, breakfast is for, the resellers, and lunch, we can have everybody there, however we want to do it. But in like you said, Anaheim's a great location. It's easy for them to go meet their customers. Parking's easy. So it's a win-win, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, it's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. And we have, just in the last couple of years, really aimed to getting more end users there. And one thing that I'm going to do that is quite unique is I'm going to do a show floor tour where if you want kind of a curated version of the tour of walking the show floor, what I do is connect the dots between what I talked about in my keynote and what is being shown on the show floor. Because especially when we're talking about the 5 new technologies, there's 30 of the companies on the show floor that are showing more than 30 that are showing elements of this new technology that's affecting our industry. So this will close out the E4 tour for 2024. And of course, you can register at e4experience.com, but scan that QR code right now. Go ahead and register. Even if you're not sure you're going to go ahead and register, because I think that at the last minute, you may decide you want to go and you don't have to worry about it. It's already done for you. We got a badge for you. We make sure we have enough food for you and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the CTSs. You don't even have to do anything except show up. We'll take care of getting you all the certification and sending you certificates and everything. So, Kevin, I really appreciate you joining me. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Dan, thanks as always. I look forward to seeing everyone there on October 8th, which is a Tuesday. Great day to do this, Tuesday, October 8th. Breakfast starts at 8 a.m. Keynote starts at 9 a.m. So we'll see you all there. Scan that QR code now.